I'm here with Denise Wakeman and Andy O'Brien, my friends and colleagues who created the AI Success Club and were way ahead of the curve and very early adopters. So they are my go-to folks for everything AI. And we'll talk a little bit more about the AI Success Club at the end, because I definitely want to let people know about that. But as you know, I'm in the midst of this AI video mastery class, and I want to tap into your expertise, your collective knowledge, and just throw a few things out there and see where it goes. Sound okay?
Sounds great.
So basically, one of the things we talk about in the first class is ChatGPT versus Claude versus Gemini. I'm not even sure what the other ones are, but folks, I don't know which one to use. And does it matter? Or do you guys have a preference or a favorite?
Denise, you want to tackle that first, and then I can put my
Okay.
2 cents in?
In terms large language models, I think for what people like us are doing and what we're using it for to help us create and edit content and brainstorm and all that, I'd say that they're all similar. That's the top level, similar. And that because I started with ChatGPT, like Andy,
Mhm.
that's my go-to because it's so familiar to me. They're a little bit farther ahead, I think, of the other ones like Claude and Gemini and Grok, and they're each trained a little differently. That's what, like, ChatGPT is thought to be more conversational.
Yeah.
Claude is more contextual,
Mhm.
whatever that means. Prompting. It's really all about the prompts. Whatever prompts you put in, they're going to give you pretty good responses at this point. I haven't used Grok. Andy's a Grok guy.
Okay.
Only in
And
emergency.
emergencies, okay.
So if ChatGPT freezes up on me, I'll go over to Grok. But
Interesting.
ChatGPT is nice because it seems, like Denise said, that it seems to be evolving quicker than the other ones, and it is my go-to as well. And the thing about ChatGPT is, if it's your go-to, it gets to know you over
Right.
time. So it learns your voice, it learns the way that you express yourself, your products and services. It learns about those. It learns about your target audience. And now it has the 4.0 version is just incredible.
Yeah.
So it's faster, more robust. The other ones are great as well, but I'm just not in there enough
Yeah.
to I don't really want to go in the other ones. So if I had to choose between the 4 or 5 other ones, I would say let's go with Grok, but Claude's good too. Claude is more, I think, focused on safety and ethics, but there's still more to do, I think, in the Claude realm. And then you have Gemini, the Google DeepMind one, which is it's integrated with Google's suite of tools and services. So there's really a seamless experience for users if you wanted to go in there and play around in the Gemini version.
Yeah.
But boy, for my money, I think ChatGPT is the way to go.
Yeah.
It almost
The
sounds like
other
personal
thing is,
preference, what you're used to, what you like.
what you
I
get,
think so.
what you get used to. I'll go to Claude if ChatGPT is having a bad day. I did sign up for Gemini when they were having their, we're just launching now. And I canceled after a few weeks because it wasn't integrated enough into Google Docs is where
Right.
you would want to use it. It was not as seamless how I thought it would be or should be, considering it's a Google product. So,
Right.
but probably if you have a business enterprise account, then that's probably better than what the rest of us are paying.
Yeah. It sounds almost like a Mac versus PC or a Safari versus Chrome. It's like whatever, like people say, can you do this on Safari? I'm like, I can, but I'm always on Chrome, so I'm just going to stay on Chrome.
Yeah.
I guess
That's
it's
a good
kind of like
analogy.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in terms of video, which is what we're focusing on, have you used, or what is your experience with creating video scripts or video storyboards? And is there one platform that's better than another for that in your experience?
I think my experience with ChatGPT is just awesome. And I've written a lot of video scripts through that model. And really all you do is tell it what you want. Say, please write me a video script for, and you give it all the details of what you're working on and your target audience and how long you want the script to be. Like, even though ChatGPT doesn't always do a great job with numbers, like a 5-minute video, it could give you 1 minute's worth. So you have to play around with it. Just if it does that, you just say, okay, make it longer or something like that. But so you give it the details, your target audience, the length, the tone and style of the script you want. Like, I want a friendly tone or professional tone or playful or clever or whatever. And then it does a great job usually, but you do have to tweak it and ask for different iterations until you get what you like.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I always like to say, like with any of these AI language models, don't take it as perfect. It needs going to need your personal touch no matter what it gives. You need to double check if you're asking for quotes or stats. You really need to go and check them.
Yeah.
You can ask for sources, but sometimes the sources are made up. I've had that happen.
Yeah.
This isn't what I asked for. Or quotes attributed to the wrong people, that kind of thing. And even tone and style, you can tell it what to do and it will do that kind of.
Yeah.
And maybe it needs more direction. So it's really about how specific you can be about what you want it to create. And I think that's what we're all learning, what we've all been learning for the last year and a half is that you don't just say, write me a video script. It's draft it and it needs to be this long and exactly the list that Andy went through about what, who, what, where, how, all that stuff that you want it to be in. And it'll even give you a couple times when I've asked for video scripts, it'll give scene settings.
That's cool. Like, yeah. So the storyboard, like the other day, it said something like, blue at a beach and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I guess I can do that, but that's going to take some work. Like, it's telling you, here's the setting, here's the scene, here's the shot list. Just cool.
Yeah. And since I'm not a videographer, I just ignore those things and just do it. I
think probably the best way to get a video script is have it be one of the last things in the project that you're working on. So if you are doing a product launch, for example, or creating a course, at the end of all that, after going through everything with the ChatGPT, you just say, okay, now give me a video script for this product that we've been working on. And then
context.
The context will be there. So you don't have to reinvent everything that you're giving it.
Yeah. So speaking of that, and I know Andy talked a lot about creating custom GPTs, which I'm just delving into, but can you create a GPT or a voice specifically geared towards video?
Sure. You just, again, you really want to give it as much context as you can. And with creating a GPT, that's a whole method, even though it's easy and it walks you through the process step by step. It's really simple and it's quick. So it will prompt you for certain things and then you just answer the questions. Let's say you need a GPT to generate video ideas, like ideas for video generation.
Yeah.
You could just tell it what your area of expertise is, your target audience, again, how creative you want ChatGPT to get, whether you want it to think outside the box or have more pragmatic or real world ideas. And then you just give it the quantity of ideas you want. And you could throw all those right into the GPT recipe that you're creating there. And voila, you have this video idea generation GPT, and you could use it ongoing for anything.
You can also create different avatars with a GPT. Not that I've done that, but I know people do. So like they'll create that. Our colleague Jeff Herring, for example, will create avatars for his clients based on their voice and their expertise. And then, so you could do that if you have a specific, like your snarky Godfather voice, you could build it to give you output like that, right?
Yeah.
Or, you know, I'm Lou Bortone. It's the serious voice.
So I created a Godfather GPT, and sometimes I got to tone it back a little bit. I'm like, no, I don't want to be that much of a wise guy. But cool that you can say, I need a more playful persona than how I usually show up, right? So you can tell it to be a little more lighthearted or whatever. So I'll have to do a dad jokes GPT, I think. So shifting gears a little bit, and you guys have been at this since the very beginning. What are some common mistakes that people make when they are using AI or when they go to use AI. And I know the one that I think of off the top of my head is cut and paste, right? This is not a cut and paste
Yeah,
situation. Anything else or anything beyond
that
that?
is the biggest. For
That is the
me, it's
biggest.
about Oh, yeah,
That is
that's
the
definitely
biggest.
the
Yeah.
biggest, and I think that not giving it enough information.
Mhm.
So, prompt writing, it's not hard, but you just need to let it know all the factors that you want it to consider. Otherwise, then and you can do it as a thread. I
Yeah.
tend to do thread type prompting because I want to
Mhm.
see what comes out first, and narrow down until I get what I want.
Yeah.
Then there's the super prompts that Andy creates for the AI Success Club that'll give the whole project in one thing. Now,
Right.
what people need to understand is that to make it work for your business, your marketing, your videos, you have to give it information about your business. It doesn't know that by itself.
Mhm.
It will remember some things, but if you just say, "Give me a video script on how to write a video script," if you don't say who your target audience is, if you don't say what the outcome you want is, all the things that we need to know anyway as business owners is what you need to be able to give to ChatGPT or any of them really, and for it to give you something you expect or want.
Yeah, that's a good point because then that's another probably reason not to jump around too much, because if I suddenly go off to Gemini, I'll give you a quick example because this blew me away. Yet the other day I asked ChatGPT to create a thumbnail for me for a video, and I gave it the title and I said, with Video Pro Bortone, did a thumbnail with me and a pug sitting on a couch. And I'm like, how the hell does it know or remember that I have a pug?
That's scary.
And it was like, holy crap. I didn't even give it that much information. But again, because of the history or whatever, it's his Lou and Rocco. I'm like, holy crap, they even got the color of the pug right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
And I guess that,
at some point, you talked about having Rocco the pug.
yeah, obviously. Speaking of
Yeah.
that, beyond just the prompts, things like asking for thumbnails, do you guys have any suggestions in terms of what else you can do with the LLMs other than just text? I assume that ChatGPT is tapping into, is it Dolly or Dally for
Yeah,
images?
Dolly,
Yes.
yeah.
Do the other LLMs have connections to image generators as well? Or is it best
Good
just to
question.
stick with what you have and then just say, okay, I want a thumbnail based on,
I know that people who are really into creating images use other, like, image-specific tools.
Runway, like Runway?
Or Midjourney,
Midjourney, yeah.
or there's so many. Synesthesia, and that one, that's a video one. That does the avatars.
Yep.
I am, that for me, I'll be quite honest here, I am not a graphic person. And so it's very difficult for me to think in terms of giving visual instructions for something to look like something. And so I end up being very basic. And of course, basic gets you nothing visually. But I think there are a lot more. I read about one, but now I can't remember what it was because I was passing. But
And AI image generation is a bit controversial now. So I'm going to hold my opinions because I just feel like there's just a lot of different opinions on whether we should even be doing that because it's pulling works from other sources that have already gone out there and it's taking that and recalibrating it to come up with this original image. It's really not that original. The image generation concept with AI, I think, needs to get a little more developed. And I think it's in its infancy now. And so I think there's a lot we still need to learn.
Even with the thumbnail that I generated, even though it got the pug, it's spelled on-air confidence with 2 N's and 2 C's. Okay. Just
spelling.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do fingers and toes very well either.
And spelling is almost always off.
Yeah.
I go for something like thumbnail, I go back to my old standby Canva.
Yeah, Canva. Yeah.
And that's got a lot of AI built into it now too. So, and because I know how to use it, I know pretty much what I'm going to get from it.
Yeah.
That's where I go, to Canva.
That's a good point. AI is not the fix for everything or the magic bullet, because oftentimes I'm like, by the time I'm done using copy AI to try to do this copy, I could have written it myself 5 times. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
but speaking of that human element and that, I know there's a lot of kind of deep fakes and things like that. How do we keep the human element when we're using AI? And I know, and you've talked about this a lot with the humanization and things like that.
Yeah, I have a soapbox about this topic because I'm really concerned that people are using AI to humanize their AI. They go in and use AI tools instead of just working on it themselves with their own mind and their own creativity and personality. So I think that's a problem. And so if to keep the human element, you really need, let's say, if you're using a script, you go through it, you memorize the content, you decide on areas of the script that you're going to want to ad lib and improvise. And so to keep that human element in your videos, you really just do that. You don't read the script. And you can have the teleprompter software, but you really want to sound authentic. And like, for instance, I'm not reading anything right now.
Right.
And I'm just speaking like you and I are having lunch together. And that's really how you should speak. Memorize stuff if you have to, but really that's where humanization comes in. And I think if you can do that with like your other marketing collateral, and whether it's your video scripts or your sales pages or whatever, you need to really be yourself and use AI for ideas and to get the ball rolling with all the content, but don't keep using it and then end up with an AI product. You really need to go back to your own humanity to do it to the right way.
I think a lot of that personalization also comes in by including your own personal stories, right? You've talked about this, Andy, and you don't have it write a story totally made up, right? It's your experience, your client's experience, whatever. And that definitely will change the nature of it. Also, using your own content to train. So I will take a sales page or an opt-in page or something that I've written already and throw that in and say, okay, now write me some emails, because that's my, I wrote it.
Yeah.
So unless it adds deep dive and revolutionize, and then I get mad at it. But
I hope this email finds you well.
Yes.
Yes. And so I think that's really, keep your finger in it, whatever you're producing, whether it's a script or off the cuff or whatever. Yeah.
Cool. One of the things I'm showing and demoing in tomorrow's AI video mastery class are the AI avatar things, which I am not a fan of, Synthesia and Colossus. And yeah, you can have an avatar either of yourself or a spokesperson, but that kind of defeats the purpose of video. Do you guys have a different perspective on that, or how do you feel about those?
No, I have never created a avatar with AI because I feel like it's me. My aging, I can see the attraction to it. It's fun to, do that, but I've just said, I'm not going there. I'm going to keep my
I know. I'm not even sure how much, like in Descript, for instance, it has the eye function, the eye contact function. If I'm looking at the screen, it will move the eyes up. And it's pretty good, but I don't want to overdo that to the point where it gets creepy. I'm looking at the camera and I'm not blinking. And what I have used like the AI voices for are for things like podcast intros. Like I need a voiceover. I need a British accent that I don't want it to be me. But I have not yet really found a use for the AI video avatars yet. So we'll see. So just to wrap up, and we'll definitely talk about the AI Success Club, but do you have a personal favorite AI tool beyond ChatGPT, which is the obvious go-to, I think?
I do.
Yeah, jump in.
There's, besides ChatGPT and Descript, which I've been using a long time and which I've finally gotten better at thanks to you, is Cast Magic, which was originally developed for podcasters. And then I think they realized really quickly that anybody who's doing video of any kind could use it.
Yeah.
And I really like the way, so it's using the API from ChatGPT, but already loaded with a lot of prompts that are what you would need if one, you're producing a podcast, or you can add your own prompts. They have a community prompt list that you like, oh, I want to add that one to my workflow. And then it's basically upload, you get the transcript, and then AI, and it will take everything that all the prompts that you want for that style of video, and it's done. Now, you still have to edit. It's okay. Now I have a LinkedIn post, and now I have 5 takeaways, and now I have this and that and the other thing. And I've started now breaking down the videos I use or that I'm using it for into like meeting videos and that sort of thing. And so I don't need a LinkedIn post for that or something. So I put in the prompts I want, 5 takeaways, bunch of titles, whatever. I really like that, and I use it a lot now, even more than I before. And then the second one is aicarousels.com, which I think is a fabulous tool because upload a video, upload a document, upload whatever, type it in. I love to do the uploads, and it will design, you can choose what template you want and stuff, and design carousels that work for both LinkedIn and Instagram. And they look really good and they get more attention. So that one is like on my awesome list.
Yeah, I have. That's one of the ones that after you recommended it, I went to take a look. Now I got to go back and say, did I buy this already? Sometimes I buy things twice because I forget what I bought. Do you have any other go-tos, Andy?
Actually, I'm going to yield to Denise on this because Descript is just blowing me away these days with Underlord, and I just can't get enough of it. And so when I'm not in ChatGPT, I'm learning more of Descript. And fortunately, you turn me on to it, and so you're the go-to authority on learning all about it. And it's just amazing. I've been immersed in that, and I can't wait to learn more.
Yeah, I do have to do an update on it because they had a huge change a few weeks ago, which changed everything. Speaking of that, so I know, I try to keep up and keep ahead of Descript and those things. And for anything else, honestly, I turn to you guys as the AI authority. So can you tell folks a little bit about the AI Success Club and what we do there?
Andy? Oh, no, he's giving it to me, handing it over. Okay. The AI Success Club was born in February 2023, just a couple months after ChatGPT was launched to the world. And we see it as a place for people who want to learn and keep up to date with AI tools and concepts focused on copywriting, which is Andy's expertise, and online marketing, which is my expertise. They're very connected. So we're not doing everything AI. We are delivering prompts every Monday. We have meetings twice a month to demonstrate new tools, new ideas. We have demos and Q&As because sometimes you just got to ask questions. And so our goal is to keep up with how small and solo business owners can stay up to date without breaking the bank, basically. It's very affordable, and it's not a course, but we have a ton of content in there at this point.
It's a community too, which is kind of nice. And everyone in there is great, really helpful. They kind of cheer each other on the calls. When we do these calls, we're not necessarily the experts so much as everyone in there, we learn from each other. We have done our homework, but we are just as inquisitive as everyone else when it comes to AI because every day there's a new advancement. So we're in there all day long, every day to report back to the group. And so it's been a really great adventure for the last year and a half or so.
Yeah, it's an awesome community. I can attest to that as I try to get to as many of the meetings as possible. The thing I like the best is that you can vet the stuff and save us a lot of time because I can go down this rabbit hole and explore Synthesia or whatever it is. Or I can just ask you guys, is this worth my time? So you're vetting a lot so that we're not chasing too many rabbits.
Yeah, and we're not techie, and we're just regular people who've been around the block. We saw the dawn of the internet, And now we're seeing the dawn of AI, and it's wild. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you guys.
exciting. And I think that it's important that business owners, small, solo, big, at least know what's going on and know what can help them. It's not as there's a lot of scaremongering out there, but I think that when you know how to use it ethically and to solve your problem, that's what matters. It's not about what the government is doing or what big tech is doing. It's about what can you do to solve your problem, make it easier and faster for you. And we show people what we're doing too. Like I work with these tools every single day.
That's awesome. So I'll put a link, or you can, is it just AISuccessClub.com?
Yeah,
Well,
we could do that.
Your affiliate link.
Okay, I'll put my,
Yes.
all right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, because again, I'm really focused on the video end, and when it comes to the marketing and copywriting and things like that, I turn to you guys. So thank you, and thanks for sharing your expertise with this group.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Lou.
Thanks. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.